I'm sure right now you're probably hunting for a good last-minute 4th of July barbecue recipe. And today's bruschetta chicken recipe kind of checks all the boxes for the home cook. It's affordable, it's delicious, it's healthy, and kids even like it. Actually, hang on. Hey Noah. Hi. Hey, quick question for you. Yeah. Do you remember that chicken that I made?
Oh, the pesto chicken, yes.
It wasn't pesto.
Oh, yeah, that chicken?
How was it?
It was amazing.
It was what?
Amazing.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dishes and Fishes, where I show you how to cook and set hooks. Whether I'm hosting a cookout or whether I'm going to one where I have to bring my own dish, today's dish is perfect. Perhaps most importantly, it's delicious, it's super easy to prepare, and you can do a lot of this work a day or two in advance, so when you show up to the party, it's just heat and eat. And as you saw in the intro, it also passes my universal deliciousness metric. Do kids like it? And they certainly do. So let's make it. Okay guys, so the first thing that we're gonna need to do is marinate our chicken. And for this recipe, we're using the superior chicken thigh. You can use chicken breast if you want to, but thighs are just so much harder to dry out and better in my opinion. I just think they work better for this recipe. So for our marinade, we're gonna start with some fresh thyme and garlic cloves. I'm doing extra of each because I'm gonna use them for a second recipe as well. But start by removing the leaves from 6 to 10 sprigs of thyme. A few stems won't hurt, don't worry. And go ahead and go through your thyme and mince it up fine. So you're gonna need to mince up 4 cloves of garlic total, 2 for the bruschetta and 2 for the marinade. I'm gonna go ahead and go through and crush these and mince them with a knife. If you have a garlic press, that will work as well. Just press them right into a bowl. So once I have my garlic mixed up, I will drop it into my bowl that I will marinate my chicken in, as well as 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme. And to that bowl, I'm going to add a tablespoon of sherry vinegar. We're also going to use an acidic condiment on this chicken, so you don't need much acid in this marinade. And then I'm gonna whisk in 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil or any neutral tasting oil. Then I'll add a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of salt. This is going to act as more of a dry brine for our chicken than a marinade. A 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flake, 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, and the zest of 1 lemon. And that's pretty much it for our Italian marinade. You can add whatever else you want. Once those things are in the bowl, go ahead and give them a good mix, and then we'll add our chicken. Get in there with your hands, toss that chicken around, and make sure everything is nice and coated. Once everything is coated, we are then going to set that in our fridge for 1 to 2 hours. You don't want to do this overnight just because of the salt addition. It will take out some of the moisture from the chicken. So that's another part of this recipe that makes it a little bit quicker. For our bruschetta, it's simply 5 ingredients. So we will start with tomatoes. This recipe obviously hits way harder in the summer when you have fresh tomatoes, but I got what I got. So we're going to start by removing the cores from the tomatoes. Use a paring knife if you have one. I just was lazy and I just used my chef's knife. And we don't need to get too cute here with dicing the tomatoes. Any juice here or seeds will just add volume to the bruschetta. So go through, and you want to small dice these tomatoes because you want it to fit on top of a piece of chicken. So go through your 4 or 5 tomatoes and small dice those. For our basil, I'm using 2 ounces. I'm going to just start by removing the leaves from the stems. And again, if you can get this basil local, it will be way better. Once I have the leaves removed, I'm going to stack them up, roll them up like a cigar, and chiffonade or ribbon cut them so their presence is more noticeable in the bruschetta. After I chiffonade them, I like to give them one little cut on the side here so they're kind of like half mini ribbons. For our last 2 ingredients, I'm using 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar and 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm then going to put those liquid ingredients into a bowl and give those a nice whisk so they can kind of quickly be emulsified. Notice how the color gets a little bit more opaque. We have like a mini balsamic vinaigrette. And then to that vinaigrette, we're going to add our tomatoes, our basil, 3 cloves of minced garlic that we did in the last step, and some much needed salt and freshly ground black pepper. Give that a mix, and that is your bruschetta. That is a very, very quick, simplified version. The fresher the ingredients for this, the better, obviously. But for 5 ingredients, being able to make this pretty fast, this condiment really does hit. Useful on chicken, steaks, anything. And when you're done with that, go ahead and wrap that up, put it in your fridge for whenever your event starts. After an hour or two, our chicken is ready to be grilled. I'm going to sit those on a wire rack just so any excess oil can fall off to avoid flare-ups on our grill. This particular package has some thick and small chickens. Just make note of that. Whatever chicken that you buy may be differing in size. I like to give them one final coating of salt and pepper before they hit the grill. And for our grill, we're using a char broiler. Obviously, feel free to use whatever grill that you have. This is just the fastest. Before I grill my chicken, I want to just clean those bars and season them with some cooking oil, and we are ready to rock. So on one side of the grill I have my chicken, and on the other side of the grill I have my greased Pyrex dish. Now we do not want to cook this chicken the whole way. The whole point of this is just to infuse the chicken with some smoky, grilly, awesome flavor. If you want to know more specifics about grilling, check out my video I did a while back on grilling strategies. Just simply grill off an X into one side of the chicken and set those into your greased Pyrex dish, and that is really all of the prep that you need to do on day one. Alright guys, so now that you have your chicken marked off and you have your bruschetta made, you can pretty much live your life until the day of the event. If the event's today, hang out on your couch till your guests get here. If the event's tomorrow, don't hesitate to wrap these things up, leave them in your fridge for a day, even 2 days. And here's what you do when you're ready to serve this, which takes about 20 minutes to actually get it on the table. So on the day of your event, you're going to start by preheating your oven to 450 degrees, and then you're going to need some mozzarella cheese. I'm using the low-fat, part-skim mozzarella. Any of these mozzarellas that are served to you in these whole logs are going to do fine. Just make sure you don't use any pre-grated stuff. Do us both a favor. It's all going to melt down anyway, so I'm just ripping it apart and ensuring that every piece of chicken gets some mozzarella cheese, because melted cheese over these chickens is obviously going to be awesome. Don't skimp on the cheese. I'm going to bake that in the oven at 450 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, or until my chicken reaches an internal temperature of 165. Once all the chicken is cooked, I'm going to put it back in the oven and broil it for 1 to 2 minutes until I achieve this nice crispy brownness on the mozzarella cheese, because that makes all of the difference and is way appealing to your guests, believe it or not. To finish this dish, we are going to just add the bruschetta across the top. Again, make sure that every piece of chicken gets bruschetta. Be generous. I also like to go back through and spoon some of the juice over it, followed by some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Guys, that's pretty much it. This dish, I'm telling you, it's cheesy, it's fresh, it's juicy, it's healthy. Every party that I serve this at, people go crazy for it. Definitely get this into the weekly rotation outside of the 4th of July. So that's it, guys. Definitely make this recipe at home. If you do, comment, tag me, let me see, and thanks for watching.